gets most in the way of deciding to do cloth nappies, of choosing cloth nappies when you're looking at all the options that you might have when you're newly pregnant with twins, as well as dealing with that massive shock. So the wash routine. So that was one of the things that was most prohibitive for me in the beginning, thinking about doing cloth nappies with twins, was I just won't have time to do the washing. And the first thing I want to say is the washing is regular, but it's not heaps. It's not enormous. It's a completely manageable load of washing, particularly when you're considering doing it with your twins. I had a conversation with a lovely friend who she'd sent me a link to some eco nappies, which were, these bamboo disposables that, break down in 5 years instead of 500 years. And she had said to me, "Oh, I know that you're interested in sustainability, and I know that you're having twins, and I know that you wanted to do cloth nappies, but gosh, the washing, you just won't have time. So here's a link to to some nappies that might be eco-friendly, but a bit more eco-friendly than your average disposable nappy," which was well-meaning. And yeah, I swallowed that pill for a little bit. I swallowed that pill in terms of going, well, yeah, gosh, there will be too much washing. But it wasn't until I actually started doing cloth nappies that I found it's not that much washing, and it's completely reasonable when you just get to push a button on the washing machine every night, and that's it. That's all you got to do, as well as the hanging out or popping them in the dryer, which is no more than you do for all the tiny little clothes that you're going to have to wash from now until forever. So the wash routine, then we'll get down to the steps. So number one is when you take the cloth nappy off your bubbers, you don't have to do anything with it. You pop it in an open bucket, what they call a dry pail, which means you don't have to soak them at all. That's the first thing, is that you don't actually have to soak cloth nappies at all. You just put them in a bucket, and as they're dry, with the soiling on them, and that's it. So your nappies pile up through the day. Newborn babies take about 10 to 12 nappies a day each. So if you're doing newborn nappies, you'll have about 24 nappies at the end of the day to wash. They're little, so they don't take much space. And then as they get older, they use about anywhere between 5 and 8 nappies each. So you're ending up with about 15 or 16 nappies at the end of the day. Sometimes not even that many. Sometimes it's 4 or 5 nappies each, so 8 to 10 nappies at the end of the day to chuck in the washing machine. So that's the first thing. Dry pail is what we do. And then at the end of the day, when your bubbers go to sleep, if they sleep, you take the bucket to your washing machine, and depending on if your babies are on breast milk or if they're on milk and solids, when they're on just milk, so breast milk or formula, the poo can go in the washing machine because it's water soluble. There's nothing solid in it. So you don't need to prepare the nappies, scrape the nappies, any of those things yet, while your babies are on 100% milk. What you do is, if you're using pocket nappies, you take the insert out of the shell and you put it in the washing machine. That's it. If you're using snap-ins, you snap the insert out of the shell, pop it in the washing machine. If you're using all-in-ones, the whole thing goes in. And then you add your detergent. I'll put a list in my blog of recommended detergent types. One of our bubbers is really sensitive. Her skin's really sensitive. So we use a kind of a concentrated eco detergent, which is not recommended, but it works fine for us. So you add your detergent, just a normal amount of detergent for a soiled load, as you would with clothes. You don't need any special specific type of amount. Sometimes you'll read online that you need to use half the amount of detergent, but it's a soiled load and you just treat it as such. So that's for milk only babies. Chuck them in the washing machine and you do a pre-wash, which is 60 degrees, and it should last about 45 minutes to an hour. And you want to do that every night. So that's your daily routine, is at the end of the night when the babies have gone to sleep, and you've got a day's load of nappies, you separate the inserts from the shells, chuck them in the washing machine, 60 degrees, 45 minutes to an hour, and that's what's called your pre-wash. So it washes the main amount of soiling out of the nappy. So now if your baby's on solids, and you have solid poo in the nappy, you need to, which you have to do this with disposable nappies as well, so it's no further work than you would be doing with disposables anyway. Human waste is not supposed to go in the bin for hygiene reasons. So you need to take the nappy with the poo in it to the toilet, and you flick the poo off if it's a hard poo. Oftentimes they just kind of peel off. Or if it's kind of a bit more runny, you need to wipe it into the toilet. I just use toilet paper and wipe it like you're wiping a bum, basically, until you've got most of it off. If there's a little bit of staining on the nappy, that's okay to go in the machine. It's just the solids that you want to get off, because you don't want those floating around your washing machine. I did have one time where the first time that we had a solid poo, I didn't know what to do with it. It was kind of soft and squishy, and I thought, oh, it's mostly milk, she'll be right, chuck it in. And we ended up with clean nappies and a dollop of sticky solid poo on the window bit of the washing machine, and it was gross. So highly recommend that you scrape the poo off, because it's a hygiene issue, number one, and number two, you don't want to deal with that mess inside your washing machine, trust me. Being there. So that's solid poos. And then it's the same. Once you've gotten the solid poo off into the toilet, you chuck it in the washing machine, 60 degrees, for 1 hour. Up to 1 hour. 45 minutes to an hour is best for the pre-wash. And then, so that's your pre-wash. You have to do that every day. With twins, you have enough nappies to do it every day. And then what I do is the next day, this is my winter routine. In summer, it's a little bit different. So in winter, the next morning, when the girls wake up in the morning about 6 a.m., I take off their night nappies. I put those nappies in the machine with the previous day's nappies, and I do the main wash, what's called the main wash. And the main wash is a 60-degree cotton cycle, which is, for us, it's about 2.5 hours. You want that very long cycle to make sure you've absolutely cleaned the nappies, and then the water going through the washing machine is clean. So pre-wash every night, and I main wash every morning in winter. The reason for that is because of the drying time, so it takes a little bit longer for nappies to dry in the winter, and I like to just keep them rotating rather than have them pile up and have to fill our house with drying nappies. I like to just keep small sets going, and that's how I do it. So that's for the winter. In the summertime, because they dry a lot quicker, and I can hang them outside and they don't have to be inside and all those things, I main wash every second day. So pre-wash every night, and then main wash on day 2, which means 2 days worth of nappies in the machine together. And then they dry in, a couple of hours out on the line on those warm, sunny days. So you can pre-wash every day and then main wash every second day, or you can pre-wash every day and main wash every morning. Pre-wash every evening and main wash every morning. That's my routine. It's easy. It's I press the button and it's done. You don't have to hand scrub them, although I did meet a woman who was extremely proud of her washing board, and she washed her nappies by hand because she liked the satisfaction. It was something that she felt was really a worthwhile and useful hobby for her. And she loved how clean they came out, and that amazes me. So yeah, you don't have to wash them by hand. You can put them in the washing machine, and that is enough. So pre-wash every night, main wash every morning, or main wash every second day, and detergent as normal for a soiled load. Do you need to use fabric softener? No, you don't. It affects the absorbency of the inserts, so recommend not using it. If the inserts come out after they've been dried and they're a little bit stiff, that's normal for the fibres, and they will get softer as they're against the warmth of your baby's bum. If you want to iron them, you can, but please don't. Please go and do something else with your time. Or if you chuck them in the dryer, obviously they come out nice and fluffy. So if you have a dryer and it's in somewhere that isn't too noisy in your house, ours is right in the middle of our kitchen, so I don't have it on that frequently because it's noisy and we're in the house buzzing around all day, so I don't like to have it on too much. So yeah, that's kind of the main of it. It's not very difficult. I think there's a hangover from how nappies used to be. So when terry toweling nappies were the thing, the big kind of squares that you fold like origami and then pin onto baby's bum, they are just as easy, I think. We use them a couple of times, but I found them a bit bulky, so the modern cloth nappies are the ones that we use. And when they needed to be washed by hand, that would have been a pain in the ass. It would have been quite difficult. Our lovely neighbour across the road from us, she migrated here from Holland, and back in the days when you got on a ship, and she had 2 babies under 2 that she used cloth nappies for on that voyage. And she was telling me that she had to hand wash them on the ship and hang them in the light of the portholes so that they could dry. Can you imagine? That would have been hard. In today's very convenient homes, we don't need to do that, and our lives are made very much more easy by electricity, by plumbed in water, which makes doing cloth nappies really easy. Once you've got the hang of it, you've done it for a couple of weeks, I think you'll be pretty astounded that there's not more people using these. And I think the reason that cloth nappies aren't used more widely is because of business, is because of commerce and the companies that make nappies wanting to sell you nappies. So they plug and push the convenience of them, and all the tricks and tools and tips that marketing agencies use to sell you things. Cloth nappies are obviously there's a limit to how many you buy, and you don't have to keep buying them and buying them and buying them and buying them and buying them for 2.5 years like you do with disposables. Cloth nappies, you buy your set and that's your set, and that doesn't make the companies as much money as if you had to buy them every week, particularly with twins. So expensive. Give cloth nappies a go. Buy yourself a couple, use them a couple times, give the wash routine a go. It's really easy, it's really straightforward. Even with twins you can do it. That's my twins waking up now, so I better go. Happy cloth napping, and like the video, give us a comment if you have any questions. Look forward to hearing from you.